Welcome to our latest Northeast Conference Women's Basketball Google Hangout. And just to remind you, today's NEC Women's Basketball Google Hangout is brought to you by GEICO. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com. Now it's time to hang out with the starting point guard for the Fairleigh Dickinson Knights. She's in Hackensack, New Jersey. I'm down here in Somerset, New Jersey. With that said, Amanda, it's a pleasure to welcome you in today. What's going on up there at Hackensack right now? Kind of give us the state of the team, if you will.
Hi, I'm doing pretty well over here. Right now, the team, we're splitting on the weekends, but I think we're playing pretty well overall. We definitely have, some things to work on as far as game plan-wise and following that, but as of now, I think we're playing pretty well, and we're just, trying to get a spot in the playoffs right now.
How would you describe the season thus far? Is it what you expected, not what you expected, what you had hoped for? Anything that you've accomplished thus far that you're proud of? Anything you wish you had done already? Just what's the season been like thus far? I know you're in sixth place. You would make the playoffs if the season were to end today. But if you could, just kind of give us your impressions thus far of the last couple of months of basketball.
As far as the last couple of months, I guess just starting off with out of conference. That didn't go as expected, but as we got into conference, I kind of figured we'd be right here, maybe a little bit higher, but I'm okay with where we are right now. As far as myself, I think I'm playing pretty well. I'm playing really hard, playing to win for my team. Like you said, I'm the leader in assists right now, and I think that's great, but for me, it's not about stats. It's about wins, so whatever it takes to win, I'm going to do it.
And yes, you're top 15 in the nation amongst Division I leaders in both assist and assist-to-turnover ratio. So the numbers do say individually you're having a pretty good season. Mm-hmm. What do you see your role on this team? You mentioned that you're about the team's result and not necessarily your individual statistics, but what's your role? What do you have to do to help this team or to make sure that this team wins games?
Any little thing you can possibly think of, whether that means, I go out and I get 18 or I get 8. If we end up with a win, I'm happy. So, just anything a point guard would do, setting up plays, making sure everyone's in the right position, making sure that we have flow, making sure that the freshmen are keeping up. Just, making sure that things are going smoothly so that we can get the win.
And as far as the team goes this year, we know that Erica Livermore is back in action after missing the entire 13-14 season due to the ACL tear. Erica, obviously, a former All-Northeast Conference center. She's a double-double machine, folks. If you haven't seen her, she's a treat to watch out there. But what does it mean to have her back in the lineup this season? How much of a difference has that made? And does it make it easier on you to have another veteran presence on the floor with you?
Yeah, Erica's obviously a great player. Just her being back, I feel like we're rebounding a lot better than before. I think this season we're out-rebounding more teams than we have before. She definitely knows the game well. She helps out a lot in any scenario. Press break on the offensive side. She helps out in defense, being a defensive presence. I think she leads the league in blocks as well, or is up there. So just having her back just helps out a lot, just, adding on to wins and just adding on to little things on the court that will result into a win.
Now, let's talk a little bit about two of the players you're going to see this weekend. Obviously, you mentioned you'd split the last couple of weekends, 1-1 records. Obviously, the goal is to go 2-0 this weekend. In order to do that, you'll have to beat Wagner and Bryant. Both of those teams have pretty good guards in the backcourt. Let's start first with Wagner. What's the plan? How do you stop such a dynamic player in Jasmine Nawaje? She has to pose some challenges for the defense, no?
No, she does. She definitely has a lot of talent being a young player. I know she just got her 1,000th point not too long ago. As far as us and just being able to stop her, we know that, she's obviously going to put up a lot of shots. That's part of her game plan, and she scores a lot for them. That's their go-to player as well as their point guard. But just, providing defensive pressure on her, giving her different looks, whether we're in man or whether we're in zone, or maybe we'll do a box and one on her, just something that she's not used to all the time during the game. So just changing up the defensive game plan on her during the game, hopefully tying her out, just little things like that. Just it's going to be difficult for her.
Now let's take a look at Bryant. They have a veteran point guard in Janiqua Bailey. She won the Northeast Conference assist title last year. I believe she's in second place behind you this year, obviously. Another good passer. Do you, as a point guard and as a passer yourself, do you kind of look at others at that same position who play that position well and kind of see, hey, what's she doing right? What's her style? Or do you just kind of focus on your own game?
For the most part, I focus on my own game. I do like Janiqua's her game. She's very quick. She gets in the paint. She's able to elevate. She's able to find her shooters. Bryant has a very good shooting team. So as far as her game, I like the fact that she's very aggressive with the ball and that she can get in the paint. And not every game you can play the same. I don't think you can. So some games, I'm able to do that, get in the paint aggressively and kick. Other games, it's more of maybe I have to keep it for myself this game and go up. So, mimicking her game, I guess you can say, is a thought. But for the most part, I play my own game.
And I got to say something here. I think it's pretty obvious that you read the scouting reports for this weekend, because it seems to me you hit Nawaje and Bailey right on the head there. And you actually know what's going on in the league, too. You mentioned how Livermore in blocks and Nawaje's 1,000th point. So obviously you're doing your homework over there, Amanda. So that's good to see. I want to ask you something about your personal life now. I read on the FDU website that you have two brothers and a sister, two older brothers. Growing up, was there any kind of sibling rivalry, sibling competition in basketball? Are they basketball players? What's the deal?
No, they're not basketball players, but I remember just growing up, my two older brothers, they played football in middle school and high school, and my sister was more of the girly girl type. She wasn't into sports, so it was kind of hard to find someone in the neighborhood that I could play against. So I would have one of my older brothers play me, and he would just foul me like crazy, and I wouldn't even know how to play him. So then I went down to my younger sister, who's about a year and a half younger than me, and she's too girly, she shoots like a little girl, and she didn't want to get physical or anything. So, it was kind of difficult playing against them, but they're very supportive, and they watch my games online. They call me and text me after games, just saying little things, but there was no rivalry, I wouldn't say.
Now, you're from Virginia Beach, Virginia. I haven't spent too much time in the area, but I know obviously it's near the beach, a summer destination for some people. How's life up in Hackensack, New Jersey, up here in the city, compared to life down at Virginia Beach?
It's so cold up here. I've been here for 4 years, and I still can't get used to all the snow and the cold and just it raining. I'm not sure. I think I was talking to my mom the other day, and she was like, "Oh, it's 70 down here." And I'm like, "Great, it's 24 up here." But it's definitely different. Just the overall atmosphere, the culture, the people. It's very different. Back home, I live about 10 minutes away from the beach, and up here, I think the closest beach is an hour and a half to 2 hours away. I'm not even sure. So it's very different.
Not that far, about an hour down south. And
I don't know, I guess.
Beach, but, obviously, today wouldn't be the day to go check that out. Um, so, but I want to bring it back to hoops here for a second. You mentioned that earlier, something about, we want we want to be in the playoffs. Obviously, every team's goal is to win the league championship, get to the NCAA, but the first step is to qualify for the conference tournament. As I mentioned, you would be 6 out of 8 teams who would make it if the season ended today. Was this obviously one of your goals heading into the season? And if you do make the playoffs, what are you trying to do? Do you think this team could make a run at it?
Like you said, we're 6 right now. One of my goals coming into the season was to be top 4, just to get a home playoff game. That'd be really nice. But if we're not top 4, then I guess we go wherever we have to go to get a win. And I do believe our team can make a run at it. Right now, I think we're gelling pretty well. Everyone's really getting it right now. Everyone's in the zone. And I think for the most part, the girls understand, we have to get to the playoffs. We have to get this win for our seniors, for ourselves. So I believe that we can make a run at it and, if anything, win the NEC.
That's why we play the games, right? So why can't it happen? Mm-hmm. My last question to you, though, is what does FDU have to do to succeed, or what is this team doing when it's playing its best basketball and achieving its highest potential?
Just to play our best basketball, to win games, we definitely have to learn tempo control. If we're, playing an upbeat team that likes to run and gun, we have to slow it down to benefit us. If we're playing a team that, there are fewer possessions and they move slower, then maybe we have to speed it up to benefit us. So I think we just have to understand the concept of tempo control and to know, in which scenario is it more beneficial for us. Besides that, shot selection, knowing that, we can't just come down and jack up shots, and then we also can't continue to wait till last minute to take a shot. We do a lot of first 7, last 10 in practice, which is, first 7 is fast break, and then we work the ball into the teens, and then the last 10 is where you want to take a good shot.
All right, well, you've heard it from FDU point guard Amanda Andrades. I definitely butchered your last name. I apologize for that. But with that said, Amanda, I'll let you have the final word. Would you like to shout any questions for me, or would you like to shout out the family down in Virginia Beach, or anything? The floor is yours.
I just want to say thank you for having me. I guess shout out to home, Mom, Dad, Aunt, Katie, Chris, everybody down there in Virginia. Stay warm. Save it for me. Here. And I can't wait for playoffs to start.
And your last name, I can't wait for the playoffs to start either. So I'm with you there. And just say your last name one more time so I can get it right, finally.
Andrades.
And Andrades. Amanda Andrades. She's up in Hackensack, New Jersey, the starting point guard for the FDU Knights. It was my pleasure to hang out with you, Amanda, today. You can catch her this weekend. Saturday, they'll be taking on Wagner. Monday, they face Bryant. Those games will air live on necfrontrow.com. For Amanda Andrades up in Hackensack, I'm Ralph Ventre at NEC headquarters. Thank you for joining us for this week's NEC Women's Basketball GEICO Google